south. So there's almost like 1, 2, 3 areas with that bright green, telling us that there are very intense winds moving towards the radar. And not too far away from it, we've got some somewhat intense winds moving away from the radar. So when you have those two different winds close to each other in real close proximity, moving in different directions at high speeds, that's a really good indication that there could be or should be some sort of rotation. We can see that in Perry, those wind gusts, those 2 or 3 second bursts, up to 45 miles per hour. At Lafayette High School, up to 42 miles per hour. So closer to where that core is, that's where we're going to find those strong winds. Remember, that core is only about 30 miles wide. So it's going to be a small area that gets those big winds west of Midway. I'd say about 4 or 5 miles from Midway. So in the next 4 or 5 minutes, this may be passing by just south of Midway, just south of I-10 in western parts of Leon County. So those are going to be the areas we're watching very, very carefully. I'm going to be a little surprised, by the way, if this polygon doesn't get bigger or extended. And that would probably include some of the campus area and some of the downtown area and the airport area, because that seems to be the trajectory where that individual cell is. That extra tropical moisture can really enhance some rain chances. And I think the biggest takeaway for today from the tropical outlook is we've shifted that area of focus a little bit more to the west. Yesterday it was more Bahamas and East Coast. Now it's more Peninsula and Gulf and maybe even parts of Cuba. It's early. We know this is going to change, and we'll certainly keep our eyes on it. Please keep checking in with us. We'll keep you ahead of whatever develops all season long. So anyone in these areas, first things first, if you got friends or loved ones there, call them up, wake them up, make sure they're aware that we've got some dangerous weather moving into that area. Second, we don't want to be on any roads right now. We want to make sure we're in a structure someplace. If you live in a mobile home in those areas, and if there's a mobile home shelter in that development, get to the mobile home shelter, because this is a very dangerous situation. And then finally, you want to make sure that you're on the lowest floor of your home, away from those exterior windows, doors, walls. Get someplace inside. Bathrooms are great, closets are great, stairwells are great. Just away from the parts of the house where, if there are any pieces of debris flying around outside from those wind gusts or from that rotation, you're not near it, so you have that biggest layer of insulation to protect you on where you are. Dixie County, and usually when we start to see a few showers early in the day, that's a good indication that more pop-up showers are going to start developing later on, and the more we get and the sooner we get them, the better chance we have to calm down some of the heat. There is not a lot of organized anything anywhere nearby
out here, so that's got to work in our favor, right? If we're looking for the early spring prognostication, we're going to find out in just over an hour, by the way, when the sun comes up here at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney. I mean, I wish I had another human with me to show you everybody, but I got these guys. Phil!
Rob, it looks like you were having the time of your life.
Yes. Friday. We got lots to get to with that weather forecast. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the next hour or two talking to weather, so keep it here. I keep having updates, I promise. First things first, storms are coming. We see some in some of our western areas already, but for a lot of the area, it's probably still at least an hour away. So your morning commute, maybe get up and get going a little early, maybe take the dogs out a little early and beat the weather. That'll be the way to go. I think some of the showers are going to linger a little bit longer into the afternoon now, so instead of them all being done around lunchtime, I think they're going to leak into the afternoon a little bit more, but I still like the forecast for the weekend. Still looks like we've got a really nice one on tap, as a matter of fact. Perfect for Mother's Day. Now, we've got some warnings out west. We're talking like Jackson County and west, maybe parts of Seminole County and west. Not for the bulk of the area yet. Doesn't mean they can't get here. We have a severe thunderstorm watch across the entire area, so the lightning, the wind gusts, the hail, and even isolated tornadoes are all still possibilities. But right now, the biggest and the busiest weather is on the other side of the Apalachicola River, trying to move this way. And of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on that and update you as we go through the morning. The Futurecast wants to bring maybe the bulk of the activity across the area, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and then it's some lingering showers behind it that may linger 2, 3, 4 o'clock into the afternoon. So we've got some things that we'll be watching maybe all the way into the middle of the afternoon. Then the winds shift, then the brighter and drier come our way. Temperature talk is the easy part of this forecast. It's mostly 60s and 70s this morning. It'll likely be low to mid 80s this afternoon. You know, we hit 96 officially yesterday. It's not going to get that hot today or this weekend. I will break it all down. We will talk lots of weather in just a few minutes.
Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
The easy part of the forecast is the today part, because today is going to be a continuation of what we've been having for the past couple of days. Mostly sunny, dry. getting a little toasty out there, and I think it's going to be a little bit more humid, so that may slow down some of those afternoon temperatures. Instead of getting a 95 like we did yesterday, maybe we stop at 93 or 92 would be nice, but it's still going to be warm, and it's going to be a little bit more humid, so it's going to feel warmer than it is. But it'll be pretty quiet, it'll be pretty dry. Today will be a good day for any preparations you want to make to in and around your homes as we gear up for what's going on in the tropics. Now, if we take a look at the satellite radar composite, there's not much going on around here. There isn't going to be, not today, and likely not going to be a whole lot early tomorrow. We'll start to see some changes later in the day tomorrow. And depending on the evolution of the tropical system that we are still calling potential tropical cyclone number 9, by the way, the low-level center of circulation is really, really hard to see. And it doesn't have that organization yet to give it that next upgrade to start calling it Helene. So we're still calling it potential tropical cyclone. That will change at some point, but all we can do is wait and see how it evolves. I think that will become a bigger part of the forecast by Thursday. Today's Tuesday. It's 75 degrees in Tallahassee. It's 72 in Thomasville. It's 71 in Valdosta. If there's a breeze this morning, it's going to have more of a east or a southeast component to it. And I do think things are going to start to get a little bit more breezy tomorrow, of course, as we start to see that gradient tighten up a little bit between all of the different factors in play that are all going to have a role in steering and allowing for the evolution of PTC number 9. This morning, it's mostly numbers between 70 and 75. Live Oak is the coolest spot at 68 degrees this morning. It's not breezy, but I think at times today we will notice that breeze, and hopefully there'll be enough of a breeze out there this morning where we're not going to be dealing with too much thick fog. Easternmost areas with a little shot for some of that, but right now visibility numbers are all better than 7 miles, so we're doing okay. Here's what we've got dialed up, bigger picture. Not much happening. You can see all the different shades up and down the Florida west coast, and that's all in advance of PTC number 9. Our futurecast for today brings in a few clouds at times this afternoon, maybe a few more during the day tomorrow, even a couple isolated showers. But it's really not until Thursday that we start talking about the potential rainfall wrapping around that system. And then depending on where it goes, and I still think the where it goes part is up in the air. So I know you're going to see lots of places saying it's going to be this at this time with that. The answer is we don't know yet. Really, that's what the answer is. Whether we want to hear that or not, that's up to you, but that's the truth. We don't know yet. We've got some ideas, and we'll watch and see how it goes. I think one of the first parts of what's going on with PTC 9 is, does it make that much progress over towards the Yucatan over the next 24 hours, or does it move a little bit more north? That little difference will make a huge difference down the road. There's some energy over the Yucatan right now that's giving it a real tough time of getting its development going on, and that may force a little bit more north early. I'm still not completely buying that center of circulation that we've been using as the initialization point since yesterday, because we don't know where it is. It's hard to find, it's hard to see, so we're guessing, and now we're extrapolating on top of guesses, which means you started with some questionable data, and then everything after that exponentially changes. So there are going to be things that get worked out in time, so we just need to be a little bit more patient over the next little while before we start getting too worked up about numbers and categories and locations, because that will all change. Here's what we're looking at right now. If I didn't tell you there was a tropical system out there, and if you looked at this map, you wouldn't know there's one out there because it's very, very poorly organized. Now that's going to change. Once it gets past Cuba or the Yucatan or wherever it ends up, it's going to find much more favorable conditions for development. And it's likely going to develop fast. It's likely going to get real big. So there are things that we are going to see happen this time tomorrow. But we've got a whole day today first, and it's going to be all speculation today. So all I can do is urge you to keep checking in with us. We'll let you know everything we know the minute we know it. But patience is all we can do with right now. I mean, it's really hard to see any kind of circulation there. It's really hard to see any organization there. And if it moves a little bit more north towards Cuba today as opposed to over towards the Yucatan, that's going to make a huge change in how that cone adjusts by Thursday. So here's another computer model that I almost hesitate to show. This one did a nice job with the last tropical system. That doesn't guarantee it's going to do a great job with this one. This one is leaning it over towards Cancun over the next 24 hours. And then as it gets into the Gulf, I think the takeaway from this computer model is how much it intensifies and how big it gets. Now, does that mean it's going to find some place near the Nature Coast again on Thursday night? Not a guarantee. We're going to be able to adjust that cone a bunch over the next 24 hours. What we could use today for, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Destin or Mexico Beach or whether you're in Clearwater, today is the day to make those preparations and be ready. It's always better to be ready, even if you didn't need to be, than to wish you had gotten ready when you had the chance. So today, yes, everybody should be making precautions and making sure we have plans and we have kits and we have ideas and that we are checking in with the professionals. But it's not panic time just yet. What we do now is we watch, we wait, we see, and we get ready. On the Gulf today, winds out of the east and southeast 5 to 15. It's going to get a little bit more breezy, seas like 1 to 3 feet. Our story today is the easy part. Clear, sunny, dry, getting hot, and a little bit more humid. So I think those low 90s or even mid 90s, if it gets to like 93 or 94, going to feel like it's near 100. It was pretty toasty yesterday. It will be even more so today as we go from mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Tonight into tomorrow, I think more partly cloudy, a little bit more muggy. We'll talk about some more patchy fog. I'm going to start ramping up those rain chances at times during the day tomorrow, and that's well in advance of whatever we're calling PTC number 9. I think Thursday is going to be the day that most of the area has the biggest chance for some serious wind and rain and surge. So we are still going to be planning for all that. Today's a great day, by the way, to tie those boats down or move those boats for sure. I think things clear up quickly on Friday. It should be a quick moving system. And then we'll see how the weekend plays out for us, but that's down the road a piece. First things first, today, excellent day for preparations and checking in with us. Thursday looks like it would be prime time day, but we still have some time to fine tune all the details for that.